Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Cheryl. If you're new, welcome to the C Squad. Over here we do beauty, fashion, lifestyle, and vlogs. So if you like the sound of that, then hit the subscribe button below, follow me on Instagram, and join the fam. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for joining me again on C Squad Sunday. So today I have a special guest. This is my best friend, Eddie Ramohlale.
What's up,
Introduce yourself
guys?
to the people. He's also a YouTuber. Tell us about what you do.
Yeah, guys. Hi, my name's Eddie. I'm a YouTuber. Cheryl will link my description down below. I'm a varsity dropout, by the way, but I'm actually planning on studying cinematography, and I'm into filmmaking. So if you guys are interested in anything to do with film photography, and movie reviews, definitely subscribe to my channel.
Okay, so this week I've been getting a lot of questions from you guys about the process of transferring universities and what that is all like. So obviously Eddie is a transfer student just like me, although he's a recent dropout, but we're not going to get into that in this video. So I'm just going to ask him a couple of questions and we're just going to bounce off and give you guys our two different experiences with transferring. So I have my questions written down, so if you see me looking down, that's why. So which university did you go to?
Out of matric, I went to University of Johannesburg, known as UJ.
Okay, and then which university did you transfer to?
Then I transferred to Nelson Mandela University in Port Elizabeth.
Okay, and then what was your experience like at your previous university?
So at UJ, I studied politics. It was awesome. Like I enjoyed it because I was there with most of my high school mates, and and I think it was basically a move of, it was the easier option to go because when you're in high school, obviously you and your friends discuss, and I also played hockey. So yeah, literally all my mates, which are hockey guys, they were all going there because it was the best option for them, and I ended up going there, and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, it's just some controversial events happened.
You're talking about these controversial events.
which resulted in my move away from Joburg.
So you're running away from Joburg, not the university, so to speak.
It's a bit of both. Yeah.
Okay, I actually agree with this because when I went to University of Sussex, when I went to University of Witwatersrand, I went originally because like all my friends from high school were going, and I was like, oh, like it's gonna be cool, like I'm gonna go with all my high school friends, and we all know how that ended up. If you have not watched my Fits Freshers advice, check that video out. It didn't turn out so well, but yeah, it was basically like the same thing, and then yeah, just had to keep up pushing. So I started at the University of the Witwatersrand, which all of you guys know, and I transferred to the University of Sussex in the UK. And so my experience at my previous university obviously wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. Like, Wits is a good school. I think I just had a rough time fitting in and finding where I fit in. So I think that's how I describe my experience. So what made you decide to switch universities?
For me, it was more of I've always been a person, I've always wanted to try to find myself. And obviously being born and bred from Joburg, it's always been about, I've been comfortable. I've been very comfortable. So transferring to another province and another town, it takes you out of your comfort zone. And it just teaches you how to, survive on your own, because obviously you're so far away from home, and it teaches you some independence.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
I feel that. Yeah, I think I had similar reasons. Like, I just kind of got to, like, I was halfway through second year, and I was like, so this is the university experience. And like, I kind of imagined like uni was gonna be like what you see in the TV shows, like Greek or Gossip Girl and stuff. And I got to uni and I was like, this is not anything like it. And like the thought that, like, imagine you finish your whole uni experience, like you can't live in halls after a certain age. Like, you can't be 23 living in the halls with 18-year-olds. And I was just like, even if I do another degree after this one, I'm just gonna be too old and I'm gonna miss out on this experience. And so yeah, but I can truly say that after like 6 months of being at University of Sussex, I've had like my uni experience that I wanted. So yeah, I've actually felt like a uni student.
Oh, that's awesome. And guys, to add to that, I think Cheryl's move to Sussex was motivated by myself, because we had a talk, and she basically saw like what me moving away from home, what it did for me, and how I grew so much as a person, and character and everything, and that kind of motivated her, that she could also do it. So,
yeah, literally Eddie just like like bloomed like a flower. It was like watching this like transformation. I was like, whoa, like I want that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very inspiring to watch. What was the hardest part about leaving your old university?
I think the hardest part was that I was like, in the environment I was in, I was well taken care of. Um, but the hardest part was basically I wanted to leave, but the people around me didn't really want me to leave. So having to say goodbye to my friends was kind of difficult because, like, I remember the day I told Cheryl that I was leaving, like, she was in tears.
Literally.
And yeah, it was really hard, So yeah, I think it wasn't even more of a thing of like leaving university because I was still going to another university, so that was fine. But it was a thing of more like leaving your hometown where you were born and raised and all the mates you have and all the memories you've made. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the hardest part about leaving my old well, to be honest, leaving my old university wasn't that hard. Like, not attending classes with Vince wasn't really that hard. It was like the easiest thing that I ever did. But the
Yeah.
hardest part was like maybe like missing my friends or like missing my family, missing Maddie's, which we know that was very difficult. But yeah, I think that was like the hardest part. So just be prepared for that if you're gonna transfer. How does your experience at your new university differ from your old university?
I think for me, um, I was more exposed to a smaller because PE is like it's not a very small town, but it's much smaller than Joburg. So which means that the varsity is also not as big as your Wits or your UJs. So for me, I felt more, I felt a little bit more welcomed, and I didn't really necessarily feel like I was just a number because that's what happens when you at some of the bigger universities,
Yeah.
you just feel like you're a number. But when I was at NMU, I felt like I was Eddie. I could walk around and I was like known by many people, and like so for me, yeah, it was just that at a bigger university, you're more of a number, but in a smaller environment, yeah, you are yourself. You are known.
Yeah, okay, wow, that's really deep actually. In terms of my experience, I think at University of Sussex, I just found that people were just like maybe more open to making friends and that it was kind of easier to navigate like social life. And I think that's just because I've heard a lot of other YouTubers say this, so it's nothing new. But Joburg is a cliquey place. I'm just gonna warn you. Joburg is very cliquey.
Yeah.
So if you're not with the cliques, it's kind of hard to like get yourself into one. But like University of Sussex isn't really cliquey. Like you can kind of go anywhere and like you can make friends, like you can go to clubs and stuff and you can meet people there. And so I think that was like the biggest difference for me. How did you go about making new friends at your university?
Making new friends for me was very difficult because I literally had moved to a town where, yes, I have an uncle in PE, which is like, so that's only one family member, but I didn't know anyone else besides my uncle. And then I obviously knew a few hockey guys that I've played through the years against, like interprovincial tournaments. But making new friends was a bit difficult.
So your friend making experience wasn't that great.
My friend making experience wasn't that great.
I think I had an easier time making friends, like just being in the halls in general, like on the first day. It is kind of easier to make friends because everybody wants to go out for Freshers Week or whatever it is, so you can kind of make friends there. I joined like a lot of societies, or I went to a lot of like societies in the beginning, trying to meet people, trying to make friends. I was that person. I went to every ACS event, African Caribbean Society, by the way. I went to every ACS event in first semester, like literally just going, trying to meet people, trying to make friends. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I did. And it was a pretty like chilled experience. I think it was easier for me to make friends there. What advice would you give to somebody transferring universities or thinking about transferring universities?
Well, firstly, those that are still thinking, I would just say that it's a big decision, and it's one that you gotta think deeply and consider a lot of things. Like on my side, one thing that really helped me was that in high school, I grew up in boarding school, so I was already used to being away from home. But many other people are not, and like guys, moving out of home is not a joke. It's like not a joke. Homesickness is a real thing. Like I understand, yes, you've got your studies and everything going on, but you've also got to consider um, other things besides your university and
Yeah.
studying. I think best advice is that life's too short
Yeah.
and go for it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to live a life of like, geez, I spent 3 years at this varsity and like I hated my life and that.
Yeah.
And if you had an opportunity to go somewhere else and you really want to do it, then I say go for it.
Yeah.
Because guys, at the end of the day, um, yeah, you only live once, as they say.
Okay,
You get one chance at this life thing, you know.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna dampen the mood a little bit. I'm just gonna be real with you guys. If you guys already have problems where you are, moving or transferring universities is not going to fix that. And Eddie told me this before I transferred, and he said like basically your problems will follow you. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, Eddie talks too much. Eddie thinks he
Yeah.
knows everything. And I just like used to ignore him whenever he would say that. Until like I realized like, yo, bro, you actually can't run away from your problems. So just know that if you're transferring universities for like specific problems or reasons, either those problems are gonna follow you or new problems are gonna come up.
Yeah,
So don't be surprised. Like transferring universities is not the saving grace of suddenly my life is all perfect. It's not, guys. It's still life at the end of the day. But I will say, like what Eddie said, like life is too short to be in a place where you are so unhappy in where you are. And if you think you're gonna be happy at a new place, I would say just go for it. I mean, the worst that can happen is that it doesn't work out and you come back to your old university, which is really not the worst thing that can happen. So I'll say go for it. Okay, so Eddie, I have to ask, after transfer universities, after doing the whole thing, why did you still end up dropping out of NMU?
So, guys, to be honest with you guys, I dropped out of NMU because um so throughout after high school and that I literally just went to varsity because my parents were like, you have to get a degree, and my brothers and sisters and them like all have degrees, and it's like, you know, so there was so much pressure on me. So I was basically trying to just get a degree to just like make my parents happy, and then after I had gotten my degree, then I would have literally done my own thing. But then there comes a point where, you know, when you're studying, and I think many people have encountered this problem. It's not an easy thing. And if you don't have an interest or a passion for what you're studying, then you're gonna hate your life. You're gonna you're gonna be that person that wakes up on a Monday morning and be like, oh, I have to go to Mr. or Prof so and so's lecture, and I have to do these tutorials and I have to do these assignments, and you're gonna hate your life, and you're gonna, you know, and I'm not speaking for everyone, so please just bear with me. I'm not speaking for everyone, but for, you know, for some of us, that's what happens. So eventually, I've also been trying to find myself in the past 2 years, and yeah, it's been a long journey, and I think I'm actually confident. I know I found myself, and I know I found my passion and what I really want to do with my life, and that's what's motivated my decision to drop out of varsity and then to go study at film school, because that's what I really want to do. I want to be a film director and a cinematographer. For those of you that don't know, a cinematographer is a person that shoots movies, films, commercials, and that. So yeah, that's what I want to do. And for me, to take it back to a spiritual thing, it was the right time for me. You know, I just felt it within me that, you know, that God was like, Eddie, this is your time. The world is yours. Go out there, make a difference, do what you love. Because guys, at the end of the day, you don't want to one day wake up again on a Monday morning and go to and hate your job and hate work. You don't want to hate your Mondays and look forward to your weekends because you hate your job. So every time, like, oh, it's Monday, when's Friday coming? You know,
Yeah.
so that, you know, so you don't want that. You want you must be able to enjoy your job, to love what you're doing. Like, I want to wake up in the morning and be like, yo, like I'm so keen. I'm going on set. We're shooting this amazing movie. Like,
Yeah.
or I'm directing. So that's what I'm very passionate about. And guys, also one more advice. Sorry, I know I'm giving a lot of advice there. One more thing is that live life at your own pace. just because Eddie's found his passion at the age of 20, or sorry, at the age of 21, that doesn't mean that you should feel under pressured. So Cheryl might only find her passion at the age of 28, and that's fine, guys. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You know, God says things happen at your own time, at its own pace. So yeah, that's what motivated my move away from university. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I like really respect that, because I think at the end of the day, like, varsity is really not for everybody, you know what I mean? Like, not everyone thrives in that kind of environment, and if you find something that you're passionate about and that you know you can make a career off of, sometimes you don't need varsity to get to where you want to be. So at the end of the day, like, you should just do what makes you happy, but also at the same time what makes sense. Let's not just be crazy and all drop out of varsity if we don't have a plan B, okay? But yeah, I think
Yeah, you
Eddie's
need a plan
decision
B.
was really like you thought it out and you actually
Yeah.
have a plan for the future. So it's not just
Yeah.
like a spontaneous.
But
I
yeah,
just
guys,
hate varsity.
I just didn't drop out. Like, it was a whole process of like at least 7 months of planning, because obviously I had to, like, you know, my parents were very against it, and also I don't want to be offensive to any African parents, my parents included. But the thing is, as an African, because Africans have really majority grown up in like a struggle kind of thing, so African parents want their children um to basically, why you go to varsity and, you know, do your degrees and stuff and have a 9 to 5 kind of job, because it's a stable job in that. And your parents, when your parents are no longer on earth, they want to be sure that, listen, my child is secured, my child has a
Yeah.
job and stuff. So the thing about the arts industry is that, yes, there is a lot of money in that, but sometimes it's not as reliable. So I kind of understand why many people shy away from it. But from what I would like to see is, I would like to see more young African people getting into and doing things like your acting, your drama, your music and stuff, because I don't really think there are enough or as many.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you want more advice from transfer students, then comment down below and let us know. Please subscribe to Eddie's channel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and join the C Squad if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Peace.